one suitcase and he's wandered off. Claudia has these. I have the buggy with the car seat and Rupert's really heavy rucksack on it. And baby, very important. Thank you. Today is our very last day in Malaysia of this trip. Hello gorgeous, looking great with your hat. And our very last meal in Malaysia before we fly to Singapore for 2 days and then home. We are sad about it. Claudia is having a traditional breakfast.
Well, last time having my nasi lemak.
The very last. Until we're back. Next year. We always say next year, and then sometimes it happens. Sometimes
we'll go to the Malaysian restaurant in Chinatown.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But we go to London as frequently as we come to Malaysia.
That's not true. We have been to London in the last 5 years. Welcome back to our trip around Southeast Asia. Our trip, yeah. Came back from Thailand, spent a couple of days in KL, and then we have flown to Singapore, where we are currently staying in the very glamorous apartment of one of Claudia's old friends, who happens to be half Malaysian as well, and her wonderful husband. And they have 2 children, one of whom is the same age as Rupert, and the 3 of them have been having... Yes, Rupert, you. And the 3 of them have been having a wonderful time together. We're only staying here for a couple of days, and then we're going to do the whole big trip all the way back to the UK, which feels very bizarre that it's come to an end. And let's now get up to play with a small child. But it's like velvet and I love it and I want one.
You can put your makeup with it.
I interrupt this lovely family vlog moment from England. Hi, it's cold. I'm really cold. To talk to you about today's sponsor, Surfshark, who don't make warm jumpers. That would be nice though. They should probably get on that. No. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that lets you set your device's location to anywhere in the world and encrypt all of the information sent between your devices and the internet, like your password, and make sure no one can track or steal your data. I used Surfshark a lot while we were traveling because it is really convenient to be not thrown out of all of your apps and every single website you want to use just because you're in a different country to where you normally are. So you just jump on your Surfshark, you set your location device to being back in England. Problem solved. Absolute problem solved. Now Surfshark really works for my family because you can use one account across an unlimited number of devices at the same time. And I'll be honest, Claudia and I, we've got them all. Yeah, we've got all the devices. We've even got Surfshark on our TV. You don't have to be travelling to use Surfshark. You could just be using it at home. But it is really, really helpful. It's also helpful beforehand, like when you're booking things. Did you know that hotel rooms and flights can be cheaper if you set your location to a different country? Yeah, try it. You'll be amazed. Well, thank you to Surfshark, we saved a lot of money on our trip by looking for hotel rooms in Malaysia and Thailand with our laptops set to non-UK countries. So head to surfshark.deals/Jessica, linked in the description, and use code Jessica for 3 months free. Free. 3 months free. 3 months free. 3! There are 3 months for free. 3 months where you pay nothing. 3, 1, 2, 3. And 83% off. There we go. And if you don't love it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Can you tell the jet lag's got to me? Can you tell? I can tell. Yeah, I feel like I'm vibrating. I feel a little bit sick. Ooh, I'd like to go back. Should we go back? Let's go back. Oh.
So we've come for a day out at the Singapore Zoo, which is very exciting. So we haven't actually managed to take Rupert to a zoo in England.
No, he's been to like some farms and some little petting zoo things, but never an actual proper zoo. He's now staring at us like, why you stopped and talking, like, we've got to go catch up with our friends.
Come on, we need to see the actual proper animals, none of the sheep rubbish. Say, from the perspective of a toddler, this zoo is the best zoo I have ever been to in my 34 years of life. It has all of the key animals that you learn about. All of them. They're all here. There are even elephants. It's got the lot. It's very impressive. Walking up to some zebras now. Incredible.
The bus is coming.
Oh my goodness. The bus is behind us.
We're going to get on the little yellow bus again, Rupert.
I think this might be his favourite part of the zoo.
No, he definitely liked, what did he like? He liked the zebras.
He did like the zebras. He did not want to leave the zebras. But he's really enjoyed the bus that plays music.
At the elephant bit, but look what I spotted. A massive, massive bat.
So, rather eventful moment there. Went to go and see some elephants and Rupert got chased by a monkey.
He didn't really get chased, he was exaggerating.
It was close.
He did manage to spill most of his milk onto his chest, and then obviously the monkey could smell the milk and was like, and then he was holding a little carton of milk, and we were like, take that off him, otherwise it will snatch the milk from him. They're the wild monkeys, not the zoo monkeys. We also saw a wild, which I thought was a wild fruit bat, it was massive. But then the lady told me it was actually a flying squirrel. I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Tragedy.
I know.
He's sad.
I don't know if that's a good sign or not.
Hopefully it's a good sign. We'll say it's a good sign.
Chinese New Year, and it's all about the lunar.
Oh, it's actually the Lantern Festival tonight.
Ah, it looks like a rabbit in the moon.
15th.
Well, I just think so, but that doesn't look like a rabbit in the moon.
This is not showing up. Oh, okay. Oh, you're zooming. You're really zooming. Wow.
Whoa.
Is that a rabbit in the moon?
Okay, you can't.
Answer in comments below. I think you're going to say no. So feeling very emotional about actually leaving and going back to the UK. Maybe because we spent the last 3 days with expats, and now I'm like, maybe. I mean,
I know.
it's not actually illegal to be gay here, you know.
Look at this wall. Oh. Sorry, I can't control the camera anymore. I was changing the colour temperature. I'm trying to zoom in on the moon. It is quite late. I'm really tired. Another reason to move here.
Singapore is really selling itself to me, I must say.
It's got sparkles.
Humid, though. So
It's like a wall made for you and me. It's green and living, but with sparkle.
yeah. Rupert would love it too. Sparkle.
Rupert, we've managed to transfer asleep. We put him down before we left. Then we transferred him. And my friend was just like, he is definitely your son. He sleeps through everything. He loves his sleep.
To his baggy, to a taxi, to his baggy. He down.
Yeah. We do have to wake him up for security though.
I mean, do we? Because we came through here and he was asleep.
Yeah.
And they didn't wake him up.
That's true.
So.
We'll see. The living wall even had like a sound effects part next to it where you could press like, do you want rainforest, ambience, water, fire, earth, or air? I mean, like, that's pretty cute. Like, what was the airport? Wasn't it? Oh, it was Kuala Lumpur where we got on. It had like anxiety inducing music in the background that sounded like a ticking clock. And you were just like, oh my god, I'm going to miss my flight, even if you were like there 3 hours before. Or, oh my god, my bag's too heavy. I'm not going to be allowed on the plane. But this is just like, oh, I just feel so relaxed.
People are so chill.
I'm going to go wash my hair. I mean, one of their terminals, the Jewel, has like this thing called the Jewel, which is like an indoor waterfall. I mean, like, just to sort of make you think, actually, you know what? There's more to life than stress. Wash your hair and herb lessons. Isn't it? It's just like,
Isn't this one
or like,
the biggest?
be more like, what's her name? Natalie Portman. Oh, she's not there anymore. Oh no, there she is. She's back. Yay. We've arrived back in Heathrow.
Made it.
3 degrees. 14-hour flight with a toddler.
It was really quite
It was actually fine. He just is desperate to get out, understandably.
You ready? Yeah. Hello, lovely people.
Hello.
We're back.
We're back home in England.
Yes, very bizarre.
It's
Slightly dying of jet lag.
Yeah, but it is sunny.
Unexpected.
Colder, obviously, but sunny, which makes it much better. And since we've been away, which is one of the pluses of always going away in January, when you come back, the days are already slightly longer.
Yes, we avoided the worst of the frost.
The
and
dark,
snow.
short days of January that are so depressing. So when you come back, there's already snowdrops and crocuses coming up. The sun is like rising at 6:30. So it doesn't set till like 5. It's great.
Yeah, we've clearly come back to spring.
Yay.
And terrible damp.
Okay, we don't need to go into that.
We're very much missing Asia. Missing Malaysia, missing everything really. I cried leaving. I was very sad. I was really sad to go. I mean, so were you. So was Rupert. I think Rupert fully grasped what was happening.
Rupert was really excited to be like coming home. He kept going, home. But like,
Yeah.
and then when we got home, he was so cute. We were like, he was in a taxi and he woke up just as we pulled up. And he looked out the window and went, home! And then like he came running in and he was like smiling. Yeah, it was really cute.
He was happy to see the dogs and happy to see his things, but he keeps asking for things that are in Malaysia, including people. So we're a bit like, soon, you'll see
But
them
I think he can understand the people not being around more easily than he can why we can't get certain types of biscuits.
Yes, because obviously as his parents we should just produce biscuits on demand.
I think on the
thin air.
the second day we arrived, he was like, I want a biscuit. Although he has started to sign it properly now.
Yeah, sorry, he says B for biscuit.
But now he's
Unclear
starting
as
to do.
why.
Now he's starting
does
to do
know
this.
that this is biscuit.
Now he's starting to do this biscuit.
You say biscuit, he goes, yes,
Yeah.
biscuit.
But anyway, like, and Jessica was like, okay. She went through the cupboard of like, we don't have a cupboard, that's it. Like, we have a drawer of biscuits, and he didn't want any of them. He's like, no. And then what do you say? He got so frustrated.
Pulled out every single one, and he went, laser biscuit. I was like, oh gosh, this is awkward. So he wanted the specific biscuits we gave him in Malaysia.
Yeah, which we then had to like Google and find, and you can buy them online here.
Yeah.
Which we haven't done yet because we're bad parents, and to be fair, like, we're just hoping he gets over it and can't remember the biscuits soon.
Yeah, hopefully soon. I don't really want to get them shipped.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, Rupert was a bit sad that there are no specific
Special biscuits
here that we had there.
And Auntie and Uncle, who he keeps asking for.
But talking about the biscuits, we were like, our flat where we were in KL was right next to 2 like shopping centres, which both had like supermarkets in the bottom.
Which is the thing that I miss the most, which sounds very bizarre. It's not like shopping in a shopping centre. It's what I miss, because obviously we do have shopping centres here. It's more the freedom I weirdly felt that as a disabled person, I had more freedom there, and more independence than I do here. Even though I've tried to set up my life here to be independent. And I think I did it wrong, guys. I think I did it wrong. I think I made a mistake. I've had an epiphany for some reason. I just feel like I've had an epiphany.
I don't think it's like,
there.
for some reason I've had an epiphany. It's like you've had a direct comparison between living in a condo with lifts and facilities next door.
So within our condo, we've got our flat, and then downstairs there's a playground where I can just take Rupert down to the playground. There's a swimming pool where I can just take him there.
The playground is undercover, so it's like, you know, you can go even if it's raining, which is great. Can't do that in England.
Too sunny, whatever. There's a little library where it's got Wi-Fi. There's a gym. There's
a
vending machine with
ice cream
and lollies, which are dairy free.
Yeah.
And then just across the road.
Also, there's like security guards always around on every like level.
Yeah.
So if you kind of feel quite like safe, because you know, even if Jessica was like to fall over or get herself locked out from the door, they would come and help her.
And they know who I am, because I'm obviously a standout, let's be honest.
Well, I think they all clock every person, like they know who lives there and who's a visitor, and you know.
And then like just across the road there's a shopping centre. So Rupert and I could go on an excursion together, just the two of us.
Which you did quite a lot.
Which we did, and there was like a little soft play place and a kids area where he can go and play with all these different toys, and he and I could just do that together, and Claudia could go off, do her own thing. And I don't know whether it's a very British kind of mindset, but I always thought that the way to have sort of freedom and independence and things to be set up for me was to be in a more isolated place. Now I say it out loud and I'm like, why does that make sense to you in your mind, Jessica?
Yeah.
But was to have things in my house that he could do, that I could do, to be set up for things in my house. But actually it makes more sense to be in the centre of things and able to go out to them.
But I think there's also a structure in terms of like British architecture and road systems and just the way we live compared to like maybe city life out in Southeast Asia, where yes, there's still lots of cars and things, but because of the climate and it being hotter, there's like less steps, because people don't want to walk up steps in the heat, you know? So there's a lot of like ramps and lifts. And it's like, is that because people have buggies or wheelchairs? It's like, I'm not really sure why, other than maybe it's just too hot to do steps. I mean, I know like,
who knows?
My uncle and auntie don't really like, I mean, that's not true. They do live in flats, but they have to go up steps. But if you're out and about, people try to avoid too many steps.
Yeah.
I don't know, whereas
Not sure why.
Whereas in England, maybe because it's like,
well, we're very, I don't know, we have very old buildings.
There's old buildings,
very
old street
buildings.
structures. There's like cobbled roads with like pavements with like it's just like not that accessible always to like basically move around town. Unless you go to a shopping centre, which is like a big place to go to in the UK. A lot of the shops and facilities and things you need to get to are on a high street still, you know? And a high street's not that easy for Jessica to manoeuvre around because there's loads of people walking in different directions.
And cobbles probably.
Yeah, and every shop has like...
Love cobbles.
Every shop has like a different entrance. Like sometimes they're not always wheelchair accessible. Sometimes they have steps up to them. Often the doors are shut, it's cold, so you have to push open a heavy door. And if you've got a buggy, even I struggle to get through a door. Like I went to Pret a Manger the other day to just get myself a coffee and I had Rupert in his buggy asleep, and the door was only just wide enough to fit his buggy through, and then opened outwards. So and there was a ramp like up to the door. So I was like, so I had to go backwards with him, get the door, open it forwards into myself with the buggy, push the buggy onto the pavement, and then go backwards up the ramp whilst holding the door open with my other arm. Like Jessica would never be able to do that because she can't have the strength to pull her buggy up the ramp and keep a door open. And like there was no option to like press like an automatic door for a disabled person.
Call for help.
It's like you have a ramp but you don't have a door that's accessible. Anyway.
Who thought this through? No one.
Whereas I think because in Malaysia, like you don't do high street shopping because it's too hot. You go to a mall and everything's like on one level, the doors are all open, like they don't have doors, like everything's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, just there are things to do in them. It's not just how we have shopping centres here.
It's more like a high street structure.
Yeah.
So there'd be like a chiropractor, a massage like place, a hair salon, dentist, a Mr. DIY, which was like my favourite shop out there. It's basically
it's
like
a hardware store.
It's a hardware store that
obsessed.
also sells like loads of stuff. I mean, if you'd seen the previous vlog, it's when it's that toy shop section.
It's in,
just sold
in a
everything.
hardware shop. There's also
And
like
there's
little
restaurants.
play areas where you get lovely restaurants.
But also lovely restaurants, but also like cheap and cheerful, like grab and go kind of things.
yeah,
but
the
not
pop-up stalls
but
as well.
not just like McDonald's. Like it's varied things. Everything's in one place, which makes it easier not just for Jessica but for me. Makes it easy for Rupert. Like he was like a lot happier because we weren't transitioning into and out of a car. We weren't like, some days he would just be like, I want to walk, so we would just walk there rather than getting in the buggy.
You're making it sound like Malaysia's one big shopping mall. It's really not. It's just the ease of city living, I think, is what we're trying to talk about here. But also that this isn't necessarily a type of city living that we.
But a city living that I don't think is the same. I mean,
Discovered.
I've lived in central London and central Brighton, and it's not quite the same.
So what are we actually going to do about it, though? Are we going to move to Malaysia?
Yes! Breaking news! No, we're not. I think,
Tragedy. Well, not right now.
I mean, I wouldn't rule it out, but I wouldn't move out there permanently.
Not right now.
No. I think I would like go for like 3 months, like as a travel visa. But
Yeah.
then the issue is like with schooling and like things like that.
Okay. Yes. I mean, right this very second, is that the number one issue?
No.
No.
Not really, because he's quite little. He's not really started school as such. But like, I would say the main issue is like Jessica's access to drugs.
Prescription medication.
Prescription
Let's
medication.
say it that way, shall we? Prescription medication.
Yeah.
Yes, I do require a lot of prescription medication to function.
I mean, I'm sure if we really wanted to move out there would be a way to do it, but I think she would have to like, you'd have to like pay for it all yourself, and that would be potentially quite expensive.
Sure. I mean, there'd also be the gay thing.
Yes, that's a big problem.
Yeah, that would also be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, we would be allowed in to live, I think.
But then I don't know how that would work with our children.
I mean, to be honest, we've not looked into it at all. Like, we've not looked into how Jessica would have her meds, whether we would be allowed to still continue making LGBTQ content, whether we'd be able to live there legally as a married couple and get residency in some sense. Like, we've not looked into those things, so we're not seriously thinking about actually moving out there.
Wow, that was a really long way of saying no. We're not moving to Malaysia. So the main thing for me about why I really love it there is that I don't hurt so much.
Yeah.
I'm not in so much pain, to the extent that looking at my phone popped up with a new health trend, new alert. You've been walking more. And I was like,
I mean, you were
say.
complaining about how many steps you were doing every day, but because you were a bit tired and your feet hurt. But then, like, the next day you'd do just as many steps.
Yeah, but I was doing like 8,000 steps a day, and I normally do 200. So
You don't leave the house.
that gives you some kind of idea about how much my body hurts.
You did have some
Yeah.
shoulder and neck pain, but that was more to do with sleeping on like different beds.
Oh gosh, yeah, my scoliosis does not appreciate
Yeah, we had like quite a
changing
few
beds.
hard mattresses in certain hotels and places like that. And then also, yeah, your feet hurt because of like, a lot of walking. Last time we went for 8 weeks, you said the same thing, I remember, about how actually
Yeah.
you noticed your body hurt a lot less.
The heat, I think, is really helpful.
Mm.
It's really lovely. We got back here and I was just like, oh god, ouch. But I feel even like I hold myself differently here to the way I do over there. Even like my hands, I'm watching the monitor and I can see
see
Your hands.
that I do it, that just the way that they are here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're tight, the tendons are tighter here in the cold.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when you're, well, my personal experience is when I'm out in the hot as well, I feel like I'm healthier. I don't know why. I think it's because like I'm not wearing so many clothes. I said this to you when we were out there. It's like I'm not wearing as many clothes. So I'm not wearing like big jumpers and jeans and shoes and jackets and layers, which then make me more prone to just being like a bit slouchy.
So perhaps Malaysia isn't the place for us right now. But we did go and stay with some friends in Singapore on the way back to England who are expats out there. They've been out there for 7 years.
I mean, living the dream.
Not in
You got to
Singapore.
explain why you think it's
The whole
living the
time.
dream.
Oh, okay. It's living my dream of less pain.
They're in the heat. You don't have to wear so many clothes. Looking after your body. There's a gym downstairs. Like,
That's your. We've moved on to your dream now.
and
They eat delicious food
They eat
all the
yummy
time. Like it's
food.
just always available, always there.
yeah, you can still eat your Western stuff because you can still buy all that stuff in the supermarket. But also you have all these like amazing, yummy, like authentically cooked Asian stuff. And Jessica and I both actually prefer Asian food. Like we'd happily eat Asian food forever.
I didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss
There was
anything.
no food group that I was like, damn, I really want.
No, because you could still like get other things out there. Like you still had your sweet potato fries when you wanted them.
Oh yeah, I did sometimes. But no, I wasn't like craving sweet potato fries or anything.
I think there's something just like, I think
I
we're
just really liked that that they lived in a place that had a playground and a swimming pool right downstairs, and they could just take the kids down there whenever they wanted.
yeah, it's a bit like popping into your garden. Like you don't even have to take your money or your bag. You just like, or even your phone if you don't want to. Like you just get the lift down, you go out. And it's all quite safe. There's no cars.
See, we said this to Clara, and Clara's like, guys, this is just city life.
Well, but it's not because it's like you're not in like like you have to cross the road. Like yeah, we live like.
So we got back to England, and I immediately went on Rightmove and started looking up similar places in England.
To be honest, going on Rightmove is Jessica's like
de facto.
yeah, just all the time when she's in England for some reason.
No, just when I'm stressed. So, what did we learn from our trip? How can we change our lives here to work better for us?
It's like rolling tumbleweed.
We should probably get some kind of childcare
Yeah.
and stop doing everything ourselves.
Yeah, I think we kind of like we've realised that we need some more. It's
Help.
okay to accept some help in your home, and rather than trying to just like do everything
Yeah.
ourselves.
We don't have a lot of family support, so it is very difficult to run a business with a baby around.
Yeah, but then our friend out in Singapore did say that paid help is actually much better than friends and family. Because they actually do what you ask them to do in terms of how you want to raise your child, as opposed to other people. You know,
She was like,
doing
your
some
mum
kind of side-
will always have opinions.
Yeah, exactly. And people, you know, people always think they're right. If you're employed by someone, it's like, well, I'm right, but also you're my boss, so I'll do what you say. Well, other things. We've learned that we could turn up the heating so that it's a bit warmer, and that might make you feel a bit more, you know,
Thanks,
limber.
darling.
And I mean, I used to be so strict about the heating, and obviously I don't want to be wasteful, and I don't like the house being hotter than it needs to be. I'm like, just shove on a jumper. But actually, Rupert's like a toddler, and he likes to run around without any pants on sometimes, and also
Which is his right.
yeah, and getting in and out of the bath when it's cold is awful. I remember when I was a child, it was horrible. Like my mum would put my like vests on the radiator, and as soon as I got out of the bath, I was like, put my vest on. You know, it feels like actual like pain, like daggers like stabbing you. So I mean, I don't want to inflict like that onto Rupert.
We both grew up in very old houses. In the winter time, I used to sleep in tights and tracksuit bottoms, and then like
Tuck them into your socks as well.
And then
I wore
socks
2
on
pairs of
top.
socks. I had no double
Yeah.
glazing, and like it was absolutely freezing. And the window frames were made of metal.
Yeah, my window frames were from like the 1700s, so you could just like look through them.
Yeah. We had an Aga, and we'd literally just all crowd around that.
I remember. Yeah. Same. I used to open the bottom drawer of the Aga and put my feet inside it. In the hopes they'd defrost.
We've learned that I could make an effort and make more Malaysian cuisine.
Yes!
Rather than just like the go-to fajitas and spaghetti bolognese and so on. Like actually...
I'm not sure why that's a good
I don't know. I think it's just because it's like...
I don't know how that happened.
I think they're just like easy student staples.
But yet my go-to is Malaysian noodle.
When have you ever cooked me Malaysian noodles?
Chai kway teow. That's what I make.
No, not very often, darling.
When I cook. I said my go-to when I cook.
Yeah. But yeah, I think when I was like, because I think I grew up with like all the Malaysian food at home, and then when I went to university, I just started making like all the stuff my friends were making, like pasta dishes, jacket potatoes.
It was really sweet while we were out there that you were like, oh, this is just like my mum food.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's just like my mum cooks.
Especially when my aunties cooked it, because then obviously it tasted like
Exactly the same.
Yeah, because they learned it from the same person.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh yeah. We've learned that we should probably go to Malaysia every year.
Rupert like developed so much. I don't know if it was just his age, like between 19 and 20 months was just like a really developmentally like speedy time, but I definitely feel it was also to the fact that we were seeing lots of people, going to lots of different places, loads of different new environments, like
food.
Yeah, his language exploded, his physical abilities exploded, his confidence has exploded. He's like we watched one video from when we first went out there,
first week there,
to when we came back, and he's like a different person.
Yeah, it's really interesting because people there interact with children a lot. And they'll come up and smile, say hi, give you a high five, let's do a fist bump. And at the start, he was a bit like, oh, what's going on? People don't normally talk. We're from England. Like, strangers don't even make eye contact. What's going on? And to the start, so he was a bit reserved. And then by the end, happily high-fiving people. He's giving big smiles. When people say hello to him, he's like, hello, hi.
Yeah.
And now we've come back and seen the difference with him meeting new people in England. He's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I knew
he's definitely
people.
less
Cool. Yeah,
reserved.
all right, let's go.
And it's been good for me for like reconnecting with my family and feeling like that, like tied to my mum. And I just love being in the warmth and in the sunshine. I get so down in the dark and in the cold, so it's really good for like my mental health. And then it was just really amazing for Rupert because just to explore and experience so many different cultures and smells and tastes.
We had a great chat about core memories, and he won't remember this trip in 5 years' time, but it's building and scaffolding onto everything. And it's the same for you. You're reconnecting with your core memories of the first time you visited.
Like when I'm eating that food, I'm like, oh my god, this tastes like my mum's food.
It tastes like home.
Yeah, and certain things like winter squash soup, winter marrow soup. And I was like, I'd forgotten about it basically. And I was like, oh my god, my mum used to make this like almost every week.
It's important that Rupert sees people's faces, I think. He asked yesterday for a photo of Auntie and Uncle.
Yeah.
And he wants it in his reading space.
Oh.
It was very cute.
And also it's just really nice because like he's never met my mum, obviously, but we have photos of her. Going out there, you know, he must have some feeling of like, Auntie looks a bit like Paw, you know, and we say like, oh, this is Paw's sister and stuff. And we went to my auntie's house and she has photos. And one of the photos was like with me as a child with my mom, and one of them was like with my mom and her siblings as a child, and Rupert could identify.
That was so stunning.
He could identify me, and I was 13 years old in the pictures.
No,
and he could identify Paw, my mum. Paw is from Malaysia, like where Auntie's from, and that's why they have a similar look, you know?
Yeah, we did stress to him again and again, like, we're visiting Malaysia, where Paw is from, we're visiting her family. So he did get that, he did know it. But just to see that special moment of picking up a photograph and going, oh, do you look at this photo? And him going, Paw.
I think it's just tying it together in his brain, you know, it's just making those connections. So from it being just like an abstract picture in our home, where that's the only place he sees her, to now like, oh, Auntie has a picture of her too. It makes her like more real.
Thank you so much everyone for watching this vlog, this journey. Everything goes to plan. We will be able to go again.
Yeah.
Soon.
Maybe it'll be like traveling with a disability, with a toddler, plus a pregnant wife.
Spoiler!
I don't know. Just saying, you know, and just saying what will be different this time next year.
Yeah, maybe. We have loved making these videos. I've really enjoyed doing a different type of video, being a bit more kind of relaxed and chill and vlogging. I'd like to do vlogmas again in a vlog type style. Can we do that?
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, let's do that. All right. We'll make some other vlogs along the way as well, because it's been really wonderful having you along with us. I've loved reading your comments. Thank you so much to everyone who has just shared such love with us and such special moments, and it's been really heartwarming.
Yeah, it's a nice way to start the year.
Thank you so much to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Remember to click the link in the description, surfshark.deals/Jessica, and use code Jessica for 83% off and 3 months extra for free. It feels so weird to have to end it, but I shall see you next week. Dun dun dun, it's about lesbian vampires.
Yeah, just, you know.
Bit different. See you next week, my dears.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.